Help 'em, come on in. Crystal's here, let's begin. No time for that fake stuff. Diamond in the rough, we dive in. Knows why. Real talk, hit it hard. Opinions raw and real. Crime talk, that's the deal. Crystal's crime conversations. Real talk, no hesitations. Crystal's crime conversations. Fun around all sensations. Welcome, come on in. Fun and raw, all sensations. Let's go.
It had nothing to do with Candace.
Yeah, okay.
We were still, as a family, looking for her, and it had nothing to do with it. And before that, our cousin Rose went missing, and then Candace's older daughter went missing.
Okay,
and then
wait, you keep saying we. Are you kin to the Wells?
I am.
Okay, who are you first? We know who we're talking to.
I'm her cousin.
Is your name just cousin?
You know, you got two kids missing from the same mom, but the word on the street, because we still have kin there, the word on the street, this Summer was not the intended target there.
When Ghislaine Maxwell, the one-time
Dolly.
Hello?
Hello?
Hi. Hey, I was just calling to tell you I've never watched your show before. Thank you for keeping Summer's name out there. But we don't agree with anything you guys are saying as far as Summer goes. This is not the first time Candace has had a kid go missing. Her older daughter, Candy, went missing in foster care. And we put flyers out then, and then Summer came missing. But we, honest to God, don't believe that they're responsible for this. We think it's a mistaken identity, that the people they were hanging out with were actually the targets and not the Wells and not Summer. And everything people are saying is driving us nuts because this has nothing to do with Summer.
I'm lost. Like, I just got sucked into a parallel universe or something. You lost me. Like, okay, this, what?
What? All right, you know, Candace had 2 children removed.
Yeah,
before
okay,
she
but
okay.
I know that one daughter had ran away from foster care for a little bit, but she wasn't.
Did. And
it wasn't nothing to do with Candace, right?
No, it had nothing to do with Candace.
Yeah, okay.
We were still, as a family, looking for her, and it had nothing to do with it. And before that, our cousin Rose went missing, and then Candace's older daughter went missing.
Okay,
and then
wait, you keep saying we. Are you kin to the Wells?
I am.
Okay, who are you first? We know who we're talking to.
I'm her cousin.
Is your name just cousin? Do you got a name?
Well, we'll just go with cuz.
Cuz. All right, cuz.
Yeah. All right, cuz.
You on that
right,
bullshit.
No, this has all been turned into the
That's
TBI.
that bullshit.
No, I'm not talking bullshit. No, I'm not.
Okay.
This has all been turned into TBI. No. So we've had people go missing before on that side of the family where we've gone up in arms looking for children. blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, Summer goes missing. We're like, what the hell is going on over here? You got 2 kids missing from the same mom. But the word on the street, because we still have kin there, the word on the street, this Summer was not the intended target there. This has nothing to do with them.
So somebody wanted to kidnap somebody, but they didn't want to kidnap Summer. But when they got there,
no. Let me lay it down for you. Okay. You can investigate those too. You can, as I speak.
Okay, I'm gonna look up see if they have a cousin named Cuz first. That's gonna be
listen.
first step.
Look up a dude named Spider. Okay.
All right.
He was arrested at 2:00 in the morning the day Summer went missing.
Okay.
And he was in a drug deal. Okay. He was arrested a few miles down from their house, right in Rogersville, Tennessee. He was meeting three people from Virginia. They were coming up. Okay. And somebody called him an anonymous tip, and he was busted. It wasn't the Wells that called him in, but the people they were hanging out with called him in. You can look this up. His name's Steven, and he goes by Spider. June 15th. You look this up. I'm telling you the truth. They bust Spider.
Okay, his name is Steven, though.
Yeah.
And he was arrested June 15th.
Yep.
Of last
at
year.
2:00 in the morning. No.
2 years ago.
2021. The day Summer went missing. I'm telling you. Listen to me. I'm telling you the truth. This is just like crazy. Nobody's listening to us. He was busted. He was meeting people from Virginia, okay? A carload of 3 people. An anonymous tip called in Spider had drugs on him. They busted him that morning. They were pissed off because it was intercepted, okay? And it came back to 110 Ben Hill Road, but it was not the Wells who called it in. Gets killed the next day. I'm telling you, this is
which dude is Ricky?
Truth. Ricky's Crawfords. I'm telling you right now, listen to me. The Crawfords, it was the Crawfords. And all of a sudden, Ricky gets killed the next day. I'm telling you, this is
which dude is Ricky?
Truth. Ricky's Marlena's brother.
Marlena is the one that's living in the homeless camp or whatever, right?
No, I don't know where the fuck the bitch is now. I'd like to know, but I don't know because she wouldn't be there. No, she's all, it comes down to the Crawfords. I'm telling you right now, listen to me. The Crawfords were the intended target. It was not the Wells. And in our hearts and souls, we believe with every fiber.
Yeah, but did they have a...
Can y'all see me? Hear me? My live just went crazy. Okay. Sorry, I had to refresh. Excuse me. I'm out of weed and this vape is killing me. Okay. So, what you're hearing her say, and I've gone over this a couple weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago, and then Dolly came out and did a short on it, which is what I showed you, and I missed that short. I like Dolly. He's one of the female creators I like. We Scottish Mom, I go back and forth with Dolly. I really am angry at Dolly for his behavior down in Georgia. I got close to Quentin's case, and I feel like they made a mockery out of it. I agree with Jody. However, I'm always that person to try to give somebody a second chance, and Dolly quit doing that shit. I haven't seen him do it since. So I don't mind sharing Dolly's stuff. I don't have an issue with Dolly. Who I don't like is ICU. Justin. Chris McDonough. Those three really rack my brain. Dolly had ties to them. Okay, so what he's telling us here is about Spider. Karen Renfro was messaging me, also telling me about Spider. He was somebody that Marlena Crawford dated. And I've been trying to get in touch with Marlena and have had no success, and we know Ricky was arrested. I hope Marlena's okay, but it was something when she was on my panel I forgot to ask her about. So, Marlena, if you're out there listening, I would really like to talk to you about your time living in the grave on the riverbank and a man named Spider. I don't know who this woman caller is or if she's really Candace's sister, but what I can tell you is that I've heard this from more than one source. We are going to go to Dolly's latest live in a minute.
Daughter?
Journey. Her name's Journey.
Okay.
They sure did.
So these people that busted on Spider, that you saying this is a retaliation, and some people have
That's
showed.
exactly what I'm saying. And the people that did it are in Rowan Mountain, Tennessee. And we turned this into the TBI, and nobody's listening to us. He puts on his Facebook, keep them stuck and still their children, and he's all into like this Joshua is called the Isaiah House. He said we steal their kids and homeschool them, and this guy's freaking nuts out of his mind on drugs because he's a drug dealer.
Well, people are saying Ricky Crawford is still alive.
Grandma Mama and Gavel at one of the vigils collected money for Isaiah House. Let's go over this again. Isaiah House opened chapters in all 50 states. Their second state they hit was Texas, and their third was Pennsylvania. In my opinion, they're fake. Religion and state is supposed to be fucking separated, and they should not be helping to remove our children from people's homes. They are volunteers. They are not people that have certificates or have been trained to do so. They are foster parents. We don't know what kind of foster parents they are behind closed doors.
Hi, my name is Rhonda Paulson, and I'm the founder and executive director of Isaiah 117 House. Thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to speak with you today. I wish I could be there in person. I'm actually in Dayton, Ohio, where we are launching our 9th state. So thank you so much for allowing me to submit a video. Just to give you a little background into Isaiah 117 House, this ministry has come out of lived experience. When my husband and I first attended foster care classes in 2014, we didn't know about Removal Day. We didn't know that it was one of the most traumatic days a child would ever walk. We didn't understand that they've just lost everything. Their mama, who they will always love, their home, possibly their brothers and sisters, possibly their school, their pets. Every aspect of this child's life has come crashing down. And the standard across this nation, not just where I live in Carter County, Tennessee, and not just in Chattanooga, Tennessee, but in Texas and Florida, California, is that child in that traumatized state goes to an office, a sterile, cold office, to await placement. What I also didn't know about Removal Day is that placement takes a while. They want to first try to find a family member, and rightfully so. And so they've got to go through all the different family members, or a kinship placement of some time, maybe a teacher or a coach. And if none of those work out, then they need to start calling traditional foster homes. And then once they get a placement, they need to go out and check out the home. And there's so much that goes into making sure that this child is placed in a safe environment. And that can take hours. And honestly, for some of our teenagers, it can take days. And I meet these children all the time, but now they're 40 and they say, I still remember the smell of the office. Or a 27-year-old who was helping us put in countertops that said, I can still see the tile floor. I counted over and over again. And as I run into these children that are now adults, and as we learn more and more about the brain and what happens during a traumatic event, I realize this is a day they will never forget. They will never forget removal day. They will never forget their surroundings or the people they come in contact with. And that's why the mission of Isaiah 117 House is so important. We step in on that day. We step right in the middle of all that trauma. So that instead of going to an office where it's cold and sterile, or a cubicle or a conference room, they get to go to a home. Like just a home. All of our homes are just on streets with all the other homes. There's no signs outside. Nobody knows that that's what it's for. It's just a home with a driveway and a basketball court and a play set out back, a couple of bedrooms, a kitchen. It's just a home. There's nothing sterile inside. It's just comfort and love. And if you're hungry, we've got a kitchen. And if you're dirty, we have a bathtub. And if you need new things, we have closets full. It's just a home where someone greets that child and says, you are not alone. And I know that you have gone through so much today, but you're here now. And I'm listening. What do you need? A home. That is why it is so important to us that we remain residential. When we first started this, the first place we went was the Department of Children's Services, and shortly thereafter, Nashville. And we spoke with all the licensing departments. We spoke with the governor, who said he wants this to be the new standard for children in foster care across the state of Tennessee. And they all agreed that we just needed to be a home, just the same as just a foster home. We didn't need to be licensed. We're not a group home. We didn't need to be called a facility, because we're not. We're not a daycare. We're just a home. And I know that this argument, this fight, this plea may sound silly, because what's the big deal? But to us, it is a big deal, because when we're zoned commercial, a lot comes with that. Exit signs, parking lots with stripes drawn, sprinkler systems. And all of a sudden, we don't just feel like a home. And if I'm honest, we're already fighting that on the Chambliss campus. This is the first time we've ever joined a campus. And so more than ever, we just want it to feel like you're pulling up to a home. And so that's why we're asking you to please consider zoning us residential. The second reason that we're so adamantly trying to get this past residential is we're a nonprofit, and we do not open our doors unless we are debt-free with a fully funded first year's budget in the bank. We've done that 11 times and counting, and that is a non-negotiable. A lot of the things that are asked of us on a commercial zoning cost more money. It's already hard enough to build a house right now, and it just means more time and more money that we could spend on the kids, money that we could spend on their needs, and time that we don't have. Because I promise you, there are children in your office today. And the third reason that this is so important to us is we don't want to set a precedent that we're commercial. So far, 9 of our 11 homes are zoned residential. 1 is a commercial with a special, regulation attached to it. And then 1 we did have to go commercial. And it broke our heart, because every time we're zoned commercial, that means we could be zoned it again. We're not a commercial facility. We're a home for children who feel very forgotten. When they walk in our home and they say, who lives here? Who lives here? And we say, nobody. And they say, no, like, who lives here? And we say, nobody. Your community built this home for you for this day, because they knew you were coming and they prepared for you. And then they walk into a beautiful home. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your consideration. And thank you for all the ways that you've already supported us and that you will support us in the future. Have a great
But I 100%
No,
believe the
he's not.
Crawfords
No,
are
he's not.
involved.
He's dead. He got drowned. Nope, nope, he's not. He's dead. Nope, they killed him. He's dead. He's killed.
So
I'm telling you right now, that man's dead.
So you're saying they done went and got Summer because of this drug he got ratted on, snitching.
It wasn't them though.
Yeah, but it was
It wasn't.
mistaken. They came there thinking it was the Crawfords, and they ended up getting Summer, is what you're saying.
Honest to God, that's what we believe. And the only way it makes sense, if you listen to me, is her timeline is a lie. That's a big fat lie. But the Wells, I'm telling you, Donnie and Candace are innocent as can be. They didn't do it. This is like, if you look at their timeline, her timeline doesn't make sense because it's not true. Her timeline, she left the home and grandma, or you can call her Grandis or whatever the fuck you want, we call her Candy. Candy was there and she was sleeping and the boys were supposed to be in charge of the home and Candace left.
Where did Candace go? Cuz.
Well, you want to know the truth? She went to take Hunter home. She was taking Hunter home. She was there with Hunter and she wasn't supposed to be there with Hunter. She
So
was
you're
taking
saying
Hunter home.
when Allie says that Summer was in the car when she brought Hunter home,
Oh, Allie, no,
that's
she
a
already
lie.
lied. No, and then if you go back and look on YouTube, she already admitted that was a lie. That was a big fat lie. She's a big fat liar. She was like not following Hunter's probation at all. She let him do whatever the fuck he wanted to do with Candace and whoever he wanted to do it with. She didn't give a shit. She was too fat and lazy, sleeping in her bed, on the toilet, whatever the hell she was doing, but she wasn't watching her kid. I'm telling you, that was a lie. So what happened is she was taking Hunter home, and so her timeline is screwed up. And when she says she don't want to talk about it because, oh, I already told the TVA, everybody knows if I tell it, this was a perpetrator. Fuck that. No, you don't want to tell the truth.
Yeah, but here's the thing: if Candace is completely innocent, like you're saying, then why all the fuck shit? Why all the
Well, let me tell you why. But it's going to come out now. Let me tell you why. It's about ready to come out. Let me tell you why. Because she was afraid to lose her boys. But now the boys don't want to come home. So Candace has nothing else to lose, right? It's going to come out. Let me tell you the truth. It's coming out. You guys all watch. It's coming out. Candace lied about the timeline, and she was scared. But now she has nothing else to lose. And Don, the guilt is eating them up alive, and they're coming out. They had nothing to do with this little baby going missing. It's not them. It's not them. And we've already turned these people into the TBI over and over, and nobody's listening. And we keep sending like video proof and proof. This is not them. They didn't do it. It's not them. It's the Crawfords. They need to look closer, and they need to look at these people that were sending like the proof. This guy like has pictures of like keeping stock and stealing their babies. Like he talks about this code and all this weird shit. He's talking about the jailhouse code. Like when they go to jail, they write letters and code to each other and shit. This guy, and I don't know how I can put his name out there without getting in trouble. In my opinion, it's Philip. I don't know how to. I'm not.
Yeah, don't worry about his name. Just send it to me in my Facebook.
All right, but he's from Rowan Mountain. I'm telling you. And there's a video of this this guy living in the woods and talking about stealing kids and all this bullshit and keeping them like in an Amish school almost, like it's called the Isaiah House. He calls it like this religious house. And I swear to God, our family does not believe that they're guilty. Honest to God, they're not. And we think that these people honestly took Summer and on mistake. It wasn't not the intended target. Marlena's daughter, Journey, was actually, that's why Marlena's freaking out. Summer was not the one that was supposed to be gone. It was supposed to be Journey. And everybody's like, oh, she was gone 2 to 3 minutes. No, she wasn't. She was gone 2 to 3 hours. And that's why.
So what else is Candace lying about? Cuz you said the timeline is wrong, that Allie lied.
That's it. No, that's it. And Allie
so while she was gone, what do you think happened?
she took Hunter home, and they came up on that hill and got that baby. That's honest to God what happened. And if you look at like the FBI evidence and the TBI and the LE evidence, nothing. Why have they not arrested them? Because they didn't do it. And the digital evidence proves it on their phone and their GPS and all that stuff. They did not do this. This was not them. This was done to them. And they're not listening to the people that we think in our hearts did this. And if you look Spider up, I'm telling you, you Google the Times Herald, June 15th, 2021, and look at Stephen's record, Spider, you'll see he was arrested at 2:00 that morning.
Okay, somebody asked, how did the 110 address get mixed up?
It didn't get mixed up. That was because she was staying there. It did not get mixed up.
So when she called the police on Spider, she called from 110 Ben Hill Road.
No, she didn't call the police on Spider, though. It wasn't her. She didn't do it. She did not call the police.
No, I'm saying Spider. Melina called the police on Spider, right?
No, no. There was an anonymous tip. It was anonymous. Whoever called, what I'm trying to tell you is Spider got the drugs from this dude in Rowan Mountain, okay?
Uh-huh.
And the dude he got the drugs fronted from is the one that had this arranged. It was not the Wells, I'm telling you. And if you look at the son of a bitch online, which we have done, and we've sent it to the TBI, the FBI, the LE, and we're telling them, look at this guy. He's talking about stealing babies. He's talking about being this great drug dealer, blah, 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 and keeping them stuck and stealing their kids and all this
And you gave all this information to TBI?
We did. And they're not listening. They're not listening to us because they think we're like stupid hillbillies or something. They're not listening. They won't listen. And we're trying to tell them, listen, somebody called in on Spider and it wasn't us. And his people took retaliation on the Wells, trying to get back at the Crawfords, and it wasn't us. It had nothing to do with them.
Yeah, but you think somebody's gonna come because you told them somebody's gonna come take your kid? I mean, that's a little extreme, don't you think? For snitching on somebody?
No. How much do you think that he had on him? How many kilos do you think he had on him?
What, when they busted him?
Yeah, look it up. It's all right there. It's all.
I mean, how many kilos did he have? Just save me the trouble. You can tell me.
No, go ahead. No, look it up. He had guns, he had drugs, he had a backpack full of shit. Not only that, but the people came from West Virginia, but he had information on the Isaiah house. He had information on their whole racket that they had going in Rowan Mountain over there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, look it up. He's still in freaking jail right now.
So if he's in jail, he couldn't have done it. So, but you're saying his people done it?
Spider didn't take it. No, Spider did not take her. But I'm telling you, the guy that he was working for, he did it. I'm telling you right now, that man Philip did it. And with my whole heart, as I'm sitting here breathing, I swear to God, hand to God, I believe that man did it. Hand to God.
And he did that because of a drug debt, because his drugs got knocked off.
He did it because he was busted and they had information regarding his operation.
All right, somebody told me to ask you, do you think Summer is alive?
I don't. I honest to God don't. You know why? Because I think she was too much of a liability at that point. I think they had I think they cut their losses, and I think, I don't want to start crying, but honest to God, I don't think that they kept her. I think that they got rid of her because they realized that they made a mistake.
Yeah, and I don't know how I would look up Spider because I don't know his last name.
No, I'm going to tell you right now. Hold on. I can tell you. You just give me 10 seconds. I'll tell you. 1 second. Hold on. I got all of it. No, his name.
Or you can just shoot it to me on Facebook, like I said, and I'll look into it.
I've never listened to. I don't even know your name. I've never listened to your show before.
Oh, okay. Well, how did you find me?
I just looked up live on YouTube, and you popped up.
Oh, okay. And it
Alright,
just
hold on one
happened to be
second.
some you knew all about that you happen to be family with.
Well, no. I just happened to see you were talking about Summer Wells. I'm like,
Oh,
well,
okay.
listen,
Okay.
I'm going to look it up right now. I'm going to tell you. June 15th, 2021. I'm doing it right now. Hold on.
Okay.
I know you think I'm nuts, but I'm not. It's in the Times Herald. And that's
Okay,
their local
Ziggy's in the
newspaper.
room. I got you. She says, look up this article by Newsbreak called 4 Arrested After Large Quantity of Meth.
Yep, that's
Numerous
it.
guns
Ziggy,
seized from
hi,
Churchill
Ziggy. I love
residence.
Ziggy. Yep, Ziggy's right. Yep, Ziggy's right. That's it. She's right. I'm telling you.
So Don and Candace was tied into those people, which was Marlena, and Marlena
Accident.
was tied into Spider.
Marlena, yep. It was not done directly. It was not by accident. I'm telling you. This was by accident. They were not tied in directly to them. That's the heartbreak about the whole situation.
So then what would make some people go after them? I mean, what would make them think the Wells were involved there where they would have to go kidnap
because
Summer?
that's where, if I can tell you, that's where they stayed. That's where she spent a majority of her time. She was like there all the time. And that's the only thing. They didn't mean to take her to hurt her or kill her or anything. They were using her as collateral. And then all of a sudden it blew up. And they're like, oh, fuck, we got the wrong person. We got the wrong victim. We got the wrong person.
So nobody at the house. Grandis was asleep. The kids didn't see nothing. I mean, what did they come into the house?
Oh, but they did. No, listen, the kids did see something, though. Here's the thing. When Candace went to the door and said, hey, Wyatt, watch Summer. You don't say that for 2 seconds, right? You say that when you're leaving. Hey, watch your sister, and get in your car and leave. And Grandis even said, I hate even calling her that. We call her, that's Candace, and we call
Candy.
Grandma. Listen, we call Grandma Candy, okay? So I don't like to call her Grandis. I feel it's very disrespectful. So Candy was sleeping in her trailer and she heard Candace leave. And she'll tell you that I heard her leave. She was leaving to take Hunter home. And her timeline don't make sense because it's not true what she's telling. And that's why they look guilty. Her timeline does not make sense because she left. And when she left, that's when it happened.
But what I'm saying then, what did the boys see? It was Summer. If Summer was inside with the boys, how did the people get in the house and grab Summer without the boys seeing it? And why didn't they take the boys?
No, listen. Summer went outside. And if you listen to what Ronnie Lawson says, and I have this interview, he says the boys said Summer was last seen walking out of the house.
In 2014, I knew nothing about foster care. I didn't know what DCS stood for. I didn't know anything about the plight of the children as they enter the system. All I knew is that I was supposed to adopt. Week 7 of that foster care training, they had us meet in the Department of Children's Services. And we were sitting in a conference room and there were no windows. And the gentleman leading the class said, when a child is removed from their home, they come here. And I looked around this room that was far from inviting and I thought, surely he's wrong. And so I raised my hand and I said, I'm sorry, sir, but when you mean a child comes here, what do you actually mean? And he said, a little girl slept in this room last night. And in that moment, God said, these are my children, Rhonda. What are you going to do? How do you bring a child into your home? You can't halfway love a child. You're going to love them 100%. And even though you don't know that's in you, it is. And then the court call and say, they have to go back. That scared us to death. But I never will forget the moment that we both were like, it's not about us. This might not turn out the way we want it to turn out at all. But Isaiah still needs a mama today. And Isaiah still needs a daddy today. We had this moment and God showed up with joy, and God showed up and blessed our efforts, because that's what he's calling all of us to do, is get outside ourselves and get outside our fears And when we do, when we stand in that place of unknown, that's where he is. And that's what we found through foster care. Every aspect of this community got behind and got excited about what if there was a home. So when we headed out into Carter County with this dream of what if there was a house, a few things happened. I got my first ever Facebook page. I'd never been on the Facebook. So we started posting and sharing, and people started liking and sharing, and all of a sudden there was like this social media craze right here in our little Carter County bubble. And then we decided to sell some t-shirts. We had 100 orders in 30 minutes. And I probably believed somewhere that this was a one-time, wow, Carter County, what a cool place to live. And then Greene County did the same thing. And then Washington County did it. And then Sullivan County did it. And now Blunt's doing it. And Rutherford and Knox. It's like once the community is aware that not in some far off land, not somebody else's children, the children of your community feel unloved and feel that there's no hope. And once the community is made aware, the entire community gets behind it. As we move forward, our mission stays the same. No child sits in a cubicle or a conference room. No child feels alone or hopeless on that day of removal. That is our mission. And it started as a mission for no child in Carter County. It's turned into a mission of no child throughout the state of Tennessee. And if I'm honest, and it scares me, it's a mission of no child anywhere.
Corey and
I'll be here all day trying to find the part about how they remove children. But they do. They go with the CPS worker to the home, and then they put the children in their car and they remove them. Not only that, but their offices are built brand new right next to CPS offices. They get brand new buildings that these kids live in. It's a home right next to the CPS office. This ain't a home in the suburbs that fills country with a farm and horses where the children are going to stay long term. This is a home where the children stay 24 to 72 hours. I want you to research how many children in our system are lost. What was that little girl's name? Harmony. Harmony Montgomery is a great example of children lost in our system. There's a fine line. Do I think this concept is amazing? Yes. Do I think it could work? Absolutely. But when you factor in these people are collecting cars that they use for their own personal use, and homes that they're building and buying, lavish mansions, production teams coming in to exploit the children in the foster system. We have something in Pittsburgh called the Genesis House. The Genesis House helped my friend tremendously when she was pregnant as a teenager. They didn't do what these people were doing. Religion should never be brought in. I don't want them in my fucking state. Get the fuck out. That's my opinion. You're dangerous, especially when you're being mentioned in the Summer Wells case by somebody who claims to be Candace's family. Well, we have the family stating CPS did it, CPS did it. This shit is fishy as fuck to me. Just my opinion. Don't nobody gotta fucking agree with me, but it's weird. Here's a link to the channel. You guys can go research them. They collected money in the missing child's case as they took the missing child's siblings. Let that sink in.
Summer went outside and they got her outside. It wasn't like they didn't know the boys were inside. They didn't go inside the house. I'm telling you, they took Summer. She went outside to play and they grabbed her because they thought she was Journey. I swear to God, as I'm breathing, they thought she was Journey and she wasn't Journey. And when they realized she was Summer, I think they did something bad to her. I really do. I honest to God do. I swear to God, I think they did something bad to that little girl. And I wish with every fiber of my being that I'm not right. And I pray I'm not right, but I think I am. I think they did something very bad to that little girl because they thought she was not Summer. They thought she was Marlena's kid.
What do
They
you
thought she
mean
was a
you said
Crawford.
you did something really bad to that little girl?
I think they killed her.
Oh, you think they did something bad? I thought you said, I think I did something bad to that little
Listen,
girl.
not me. No, honey. I'm a
Oh,
hillbilly. Listen to
okay.
me very carefully. I'm a hillbilly. Sometimes I can talk and it don't, no, not me. I would never, ever, ever do anything bad to a child, ever. I worked in public schools. I retired from a public school. No, I would never, ever, ever do anything bad to a child. I have 6 grandchildren myself. I'm an older lady. I would never harm a child, not me. They did something bad to that little girl, I think. In my heart, I believe that they did something bad to that little girl. In our family, when we sit around and talk about this is what we think happened. We think she wasn't the target that was supposed to be. And when you hear Jody Sue and Andy and all that bullshit and all the fucking shit in the holler, that's all drama bullshit that takes away from Summer. Summer wasn't supposed to be gone. It wasn't Summer they were after. We honest to God think
Now, in that article, that Newsbreak article that Ziggy was talking about.
Do you see it?
No, I haven't seen the article. I haven't looked it up. But you saying Steven is Spider?
Yep.
Okay, so I can find the 4 people that were arrested. Go by Steven, and that would be the Spider guy.
Right. But let me tell you, Steven's dealer is in Rowan Mountain, and he's not in that article. He's not mentioned. And I've turned this into the TBI, and I've turned it into, like, nobody listens to us. They think we're freaking hicks from the damn. They treat us like fleas or something. They don't want nothing to do with us. I'm telling you, Spider's dealer is in Rowan Mountain.
And there is a connection between the Melina girl and the Spider girl. You know that for a fact.
Oh, I know that for a personal fact. And let me tell you, and I can relate it back to Candace Wells too. It's the Mendenhall. I can tell you. So if you look up that, you look that up, and I've got it all screenshots of all of her friends, and I'm telling you right now, and him and Spider were connected, and that's a connection to the Wells. But they weren't the target. I'm telling you right now, they were not the target. The target was the
So you saying the drug man's mad over a debt because his man got busted with drugs? He blamed it on Melina, went to kidnap Melina's daughter, but accidentally got Summer Wells.
I think he was trying to scare her. I'm trying to tell you. I think they were trying to scare her, and I think they wanted to tame it because that shit got interrupted. And it wasn't all that like $5 or $10 worth. There was a large amount of drugs and guns. That man had guns too.
Do you live out there in the holler?
My parents do.
Okay.
My parents do. And if you know my last name, you'd be like, oh, fuck. Yeah.
Okay.
Nope. We're right there. Nope. I'm nowhere near there. I'm hours away. I live in a different state. But I'm telling you, I know I believe my people. I believe my family. And we talk about this shit. And I'm telling you, nobody's listening to us. They were not supposed to, Summer wasn't supposed to be the girl. And if you look at this idiot, I don't know how to get you the information, but I'd love to give you his name.
Yeah, I mean, you can email me. It's real easy. My email.
All right. Well, tell me, can you put it up on your screen so I can screenshot it?
Yeah. My mods will type it up real quick. JimmyJams757@gmail.com. Mods, post that up in the link in the thing. Post my email for me. And then she can screenshot it. I have no idea
what your damn name is. I just went to live and I seen someone else. I'm like, all right.
My name is, they call me Dolly. Dolly.
All right, Dolly. I'm telling you, I've reached out to Josh and he blew me off. I reached out to what the hell? I think his name's Doug. He blew me off. Well, first I reached out to Chris, and he's like with I don't know, the behavior panel.
Yeah, the Cold Case Foundation.
Yeah. And I'm like, listen, here's what.
There you go.
Our cousins, here's what we think happened. And he's like, oh, yeah, like they blew us off like we were dumb hicks or something. I'm like, no, I'm trying to tell you people. And we turned in this gentleman's name. And I sent all those screenshots that I have where he's talking about stealing children and splitting up 8 balls and selling 8 balls and kids. And
can you send some of that over to the email I got posted on the screen right now? See, it says JimmyJam757@gmail.com.
Wait 1 second. I'm going to do it right now. Hold on. JimmyJam757. Right. Hold on. Let me get on my email and I'm going to do it right now as we're speaking. So, you know, I'm not full of shit. Because I know this has got to be a lot for you.
Send that type of stuff over to me so I can have my turtles investigate it.
No, I'm going to do it right now. Jimmy Jam, what? Okay, hold on.
What Jams? What is Z? 757.
Wait, hold on 1 second. Wait. Jimmy Jams. I'm going to do it right now. Jimmy JIMM. Y Jams.
JAM.
With the Z.
Z. 757.
Okay. 757
@gmail.com.
At gmail.com. All right. But let me go to my photos. It's my credit card. What the hell? Photos. Oh wait, I have to do an attachment. Hold on.
And what are you sending over?
Well, I'm going to send you all my screenshots of all this bullshit about Spider and the person I think that is responsible in Rowan Mountain. And I had a video I sent to Don B. And he's like, yeah, this is a guy walking through the woods. I'm like, no, he's walking through fucking railroad tracks, over rivers and tunnels, and talking about hiding bodies and shit. What is the matter with you? This is a guy, like, you know.
And he's connected to Spider, which is connected to the girl, you said.
Yes.
And do you have any way to show that they're connected?
Well, look at his friend list.
Okay.
757, right?
Yep.
At Gmail?
Yep. Yeah, she said she told TBI C-Star.
I already did. I already turned all this into TBI. But they don't tell us shit, right? They don't tell us anything. Okay, screenshots, because I got screenshots of the shit. 3,900 of them.
3,900. Well, don't send me all those.
No, I'm going to send you some right now where these are the people I think are directly related to this dipshit. I have like all these messages. Oh my God.
Okay.
Yeah. Hold on, let me get, and I've got like, and I hate to say this, but my kid's a cop, so I have him run a lot of these names. I'm like, give me this information. So I got all their like criminal history and shit. Because they scare me. Like, I think that they did something to Summer. Okay, so you're going to receive a lot. This is Candace's friends list, okay? And this will show you how they're related. If you will like look at that.
Okay.
So you're going to receive a lot of attachments here because she got like 400 friends. But if you look, and I'm going to send you the name privately of who and how they're related, and I'm going to show you right here how they're connected through this one individual. And let me tell you something about this guy. He was homeless, and then he was living under a bridge. 2 weeks after Summer went missing, the MFer paid cash for his house. Now, how do you do that?
Well, if he was living under a bridge, then how was he the dope man?
Listen, you know how he was? He was. I'm telling you. They effed up. He had this partner, and they were living under a bridge, and they got with this Philip guy. I'm telling you right now, and I'll send you the address. It's 725, and I'll send you the address. And this asshole paid cash for this house 2 weeks after Summer went missing. You can look it up. What I'm telling you is God's honest truth as I'm breathing. Ziggy, she knows. Ziggy, you're gonna do some searching here, Ziggy. But what I'm telling you, girl, is the truth.
All right, I still ain't got your email yet. It takes a little bit of time.
Hold on, because I'm still adding shit. Hold on.
Okay.
All right, I added that. It's okay. Let me just send this little bit to you. There's 80 of them. Oh shit.
Ziggy says
done.
she is looking into it.
Okay, look at I'm trying to send you 80 things at one time. Oh gosh, how can I do that? This is add. Yeah, I want to add 80 things. I don't know. 73. Okay. Here, how about if I just do this? I'm going to send you the names. How about this?
Okay, whatever works for you. All right, let's see.
Okay, done. Okay, I'm just going to send this right now.
Okay.
Okay, so I try to send like 75 things, and I don't think it worked. So let me try to send. Let me know if you got that one I just sent with the names. And I'm going to send you something else, what their names are.
I haven't got it yet.
Let
me make sure it didn't go to. Let me make sure it ain't going in my spam folder or nothing. No, I haven't got it yet.
JimmyJam757@gmail.com.
Yep.
That's what I sent it to.
All right, this might take a minute.
All right. I'm telling you. And everybody was like, oh, they're innocent. Don and Candace are not the greatest parents. I will agree with that 100,000%. They've made mistakes, but they're innocent. I'm telling you, as we're sitting here breathing, they're innocent. They didn't do this to their baby. They did not. They're shitty parents. They've lost all their children, but they did not. They didn't do this.
You did spell jams with a Z, right?
Oh, no. I spelled it with an S. Okay.
It's with a Z. That's why it's not coming through.
All right. Hold on. Let me do it again. Jimmy Jams.
Yeah, take the S off of jams. It's a Z.
JAMZ.
757.
Yeah. Hold on. JAMZ at Gmail.
JimmyJam757@gmail.com.
All right.
Yeah, just send all that information over and I'll look into it. And then I got your email. So if I need anything from you, I'll hit you back.
All right. Hold on. Let me see if you get those.
Okay.
No, we know how she reacted when her daughter went missing, Candy, and then she's acting the same way with Summer. She's innocent. I'm telling you, they're not great parents. I'll give you that, but they're innocent. I'm telling you, they're innocent.
All right. I think I just got it. Okay,
All
yeah, I
right.
got the names.
Okay, now listen, I'm going to send you what their street names are, okay?
Okay. And which
All right. So,
and these are the dudes in Virginia?
yep.
Okay.
No, they're in Rowan Mountain. They're right down the damn road from Rogerville.
Oh, okay.
They're right there.
Okay.
No, when you look up their names, I'm going to send you their addresses, the 725 address, and I'm going to send you some pictures that are no. He deleted this thing off of Facebook, but I screenshotted it and I sent it to the TBI, where he talks about keeping them stuck. He says keep them stuck and steal their children, and the Isaiah house, and how they put kids in like the Isaiah house and homeschool them after they steal them, and about drugs and splitting up balls. This guy is nuts. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. When you see what I have,
I would definitely look into it.
yeah, I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna send you attachments. So I'm glad you got that, and thank you for listening to me, and thank you for taking the time. And Ziggy, thank you. We appreciate you, and we're glad to see her back.
Okay, so I got your email, so I know how to get a hold of you.
All right, thank you.
You be good.
You too.
All right, peace.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, Joan Slay, just new member. That is a great way right there to keep Dolly alive. All right, Dolly got to eat too.
It's a web of bad people in Tennessee. And we heard about the cornbread mafia, right? We heard about the cornbread mafia, but it's not that. It's worse than that. It's worse than the cornbread mafia. But for some reason, Candace got a little upset when you started talking about the cornbread mafia. But these drug rings that were involved around Summer Wells and Candace's friend, and of course, Fred Hill, and what's the lady that talks so damn slow? Jody Sue Brown. Okay. All these people in that holler were involved in some criminal activity. Summer Wells did not wander off from that house. How many of you guys remember Don Wells saying they didn't bring her back? Anybody remember that? I kind of remember it. Anybody else remember it out there? Like this video if you remember that. So Don Wells knows who took Little Summer. He knows that they were involved in these drugs. Don Wells immediately said that he went out and did thousands of dollars worth of crack cocaine and took the police on a chase because a lot of people believed he sold Summer Wells. Anybody?
Yeah, Dolly, I remember. And I also remember Fred saying that Dawn came to his house to take him to the dealer's house because he assumed Fred knew the dealer in Knoxville. Don't forget to add that part to it. If you're out there and you see this, I would love to have a conversation with you about the woman that called. I would love to know what she sent you. I would love to know how deep you dug into it. And I would love to know what you found out about Spider. Truth is, Renfro could just tell us since she knows exactly about him and told me she did.
Remember that? And he was making the argument, well, I didn't need to sell Summer Wells because I went out and spent $2,000 on cocaine. Anybody remember that? Anybody? Is it just me? Is it just me? So you got this man out basically sleeping with prostitutes, doing thousands of dollars in drugs. It just tells me one thing. You were strung out on drugs. Okay? Because most people don't go out, even if they do illegal things and do thousands of dollars worth of it, unless they're really bad off on these products. Was he loaning his child out to this drug ring and these people involved in this drug ring, and they didn't bring Summer back. Now, this drug ring is tied to who else? Fred Hill. Fred Hill's family's property has just been searched, right? Because I don't believe these certain people would have been in the holler if it wasn't for Fred Hill distributing certain things in the holler. Now, when people start to get mad and they start to get upset about what you say, it starts to make you think, why are...
See, that's the thing, Dolly. I don't think it was just Fred Hill. I think Andy and Dawn also dabbled. I think that's why Dawn had a lot of travel to places like Utah and Mexico. We hear Dawn's sister talk about how she had to go get Dawn from Mexico when him and Candace were fighting one time. That's on Cher's channel. We hear Dawn tell us about his mom who ran a hotel that the cops kept quiet and protected while they trafficked drugs and humans out of it. That was said on Smiley's. I've done a lot of research on Dawn during the time that he lived in California, and I find some interesting things, even connecting to Jose. That sounds much like our Jose that has charges in New York. I don't know if it's him, but it's interesting. Yes. I think Dawn was involved.
They getting mad, right? Because this is say you say something about Dolly that ain't true. Am I going to get upset about it? Is it going to faze me? None. Not a bit, right? I'd be like, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. But when it starts to get to you and you start to worry to where you're trying to run interference, and we noticed right after this tip came in, Ziggy didn't make this tip, right? You know, there's a lot of rumors about who made this tip to the FBI. And this tip was called in to the FBI. Now, the police wanted everybody to know that this search was over Summer Wells. They leaked that to the press, okay? So you notice nobody would have knew. This house is in the middle of nowhere. How did the press know that they were out there searching with a lead that was about Summer Wells? I tell you how they knew. The damn FBI picked up the phone, called the press, and said, hey, we're going to be out here searching this property for Summer Wells.
Nah. I think it was after the search. They wanted to see what happened. They know people come to YouTube. There's a lot of people still connected to that Van Hill property. It doesn't, for us, take any suspects away. What it does is create more speculation. The police are strategically placed. They know what they're doing. And they do 100% pay attention to social media. They monitor all accounts. Lawson said so himself. Anybody covering Summer Wells' case is monitoring. I think some people's personalities have changed. Ziggy's trying to completely avoid Summer Wells, putting on her Tumu headphones, pretending to play the most boring games on the earth, sliding in little summer shit, Fred disappearing quietly into the night. Hey, Winged. How are you, sweetie? Pay attention to what's been going on. How quiet it's gotten, even with Jody Sue. Jody waits till somebody like Dolly comes out and accuses her of being a part of a drug ring, like he just did. They're all just a little too quiet for my liking. They come out at certain times. Hey, Six Up, did you start your fucking live, you cunt? Cursed, you left me a comment saying I haven't listened to all this yet, but you didn't respond to what Lisa Kay said. Done with all of your shit. A ring is a ring, and that's what this looks like, in my opinion. Regardless of whether it has anything to do with Summer or not, there's a lot of crime being covered the fuck up.
The media said, oh shit.
Summer going missing fucked operations up. Whatever happened to Summer sent a lot of people out here to silence people like me.
Let's get out there, right? Because they don't just magically know. You think some media person's like, oh, well, let me go see what's going on Van Hill Road. Maybe there's a mystery search going on. The media don't know unless the media is told. The media was tipped off to that search by the police, by the FBI, and by the TBI. Why? Maybe to shake things up. Okay. Sometimes you got to grab the damn cage and you got to rattle it. You got to rattle the cage, right? You got to rattle the cage and see what falls out. Sometimes you got to stir the hornet's nest. And maybe that's what Dolly's doing tonight. Okay. Maybe it ain't. Maybe it ain't. Maybe Dolly knows something, Ziggy. Maybe I know something, Candace, or maybe I don't. It's up to you guys to figure out, do I know something or do I don't? All right. I ain't going to tell you what I know. I just want to see what falls out the cage. What falls out the cage? Let's rattle the damn hornet's nest. There needs to be justice for little Summer Wells. All the time, you know, nothing Don and Candace ever said made any damn sense. We heard so many different stories in the Summer Wells case. All these people at one point were friends. What made all these people turn on each other, Zigmeister? What made everybody hate each other in that holler? But before this, Don and Fred were friends. They were buddies. Listen, you think you got two drug addicts that live that close to each other and they ain't friends? Well, hell, everybody in that holler was a druggie. Look at Jody Sue. She can't even put a sentence together. Okay. Nothing against you, Jody Sue. Don't make a 7-hour video on me, please. All right. Whatever you do, don't do it. Don't do it. I can't tolerate it. You talk too damn slow. You talk slower than Monkey Boy. You talk slower than damn Monkey Boy out here. But you got her alleging that her old man was selling drugs.
It was nice. Yeah, it's wild. Hey, maybe you can share, could explain that to the feds and the most much police in Canada. How you scammed using my name. You.
Shit like that. Who says crazy stuff like that? We know, we watch, we seen the mugshots of Fred Hill go to jail, right? You notice he went to jail slightly after Don Wells. I think Don Wells may be a little bit of a snitch. Just a little bit. Don, you listen to Don. You ever tell on anybody? You ever tell on anybody, Don? I think you may have tipped some people off to certain things that may have been going on, but you don't want to tell it all. Maybe it's from fear. Maybe they're scared of these people. Now, I've heard and looked at these people's criminal records. They're pretty violent criminals that were involved in this little drug ring that was happening out there in the holler. Pretty bad, violent people. Justice for Summer, it's been too long. Absolutely, it's been too long. And it's, you know, it was good to see that the police are still actively investigating and the feds are still in on the Summer Wells case, right? It's good. That was good news. Like I think that made everybody feel just a little bit better because we were looking at this as a cold case. Thank God for the people on the internet that have kept this little girl's name alive. Summer Wells, she has gotten more press than any little missing kid around, especially on the YouTube streets. If it wasn't for YouTube, this little girl would have been forgot about. And that's really what they want because they don't have anything. Without Summer Wells' body, trigger warning people, is there anybody here that believes Summer Wells is still alive? Is there anybody that believes that? This breaks my heart to even say this because trust me, I want her alive more than anybody. This is what got me into true crime. This little girl's not with us. There hasn't been a sighting of her. She wasn't sold into trafficking. It wasn't none of this. This little girl was surrounded by terrible, terrible ass people. That's the truth. She didn't stand a chance. Not a chance, not a little chance, nothing. She didn't stand a chance. I'm surprised that one of the boys wasn't also gone. Thank God. You know, I look at this as it is so sad that Summer Wells is gone, right? But Summer, if you're listening from heaven, there's one thing you did. You saved your brothers. You saved your brothers. She absolutely did. These kids were living a life that no kid should be living. And if Summer Wells hadn't went missing, something bad else could have been happening with those boys. And we don't know what these boys have been through. We don't know. We just know that they didn't want to go home, right? And now tell me 3 kids out here that don't want to be with their parents. Didn't want to be. They were calling and the kids told them, we don't want to come home. And I think that was best that them kids, because them kids got around people that were normal. Those kids didn't know what a normal life is. Where's Hunter? Somewhere being a little gangbanger probably, you know, running around with a gun. If that boy ain't in prison by the time he's 35, I ain't sitting here. I would say 25. By the time he's 25, that kid will be doing 10 to 15 years in prison. I guarantee it. That little boy is a piece of shit. All right. Sorry, not sorry. Okay. We seen what he was about when his mama passed away. The apple does not fall far from the tree. That boy is like an Andrew Hiltz. I heard Andrew Hiltz is in jail too for like a probation violation or just being they used to lock him up for just being a freak. Okay. There should be a law against when you so weird, they should just lock you under the jail. You are the creepiest effing dude I've ever seen in my whole entire life. Anybody ever seen anybody creepier than Andrew Hiltz? Okay. I didn't think they made people like that, but apparently if you dig up the dumpster in the trailer park and you go underneath the dumpster and you dig about 15 foot down, you'll find Andrew Hiltz. That dude is a scumbag. Okay. Like just terribly damn scummy and creepy. I wouldn't have let him around a grown person, most lessly a kid. Oh my Jesus Christ, that dude needs to be buried under a penitentiary somewhere. I bet you that man has so many damn skeletons in his closet. Boy, you open his closet, there'd be bodies falling out like that dude that was digging up the dead. Y'all heard about that man, right? That was grave robbing. He had all the skulls and bones in his house. Boy, I guarantee you Andrew Hill's closet guy's way more than that. He was around all kind of creepy people. I don't like to talk bad about the dead. I do not. Make me wonder, since the tiger got close to the Candace after he put that video out, if he was in on it. Put on the train as I want a spot for the box. I don't think Ernie Shell, okay, if you're going by calling him the tiger, has anything to do with it. I truly don't. Ernie is a weird one. Okay. He's a weird character, but far as making kids disappear, I don't think so. I just know this. I agree with Dolly, right? Listen, he's weird. Don't get me. He has his moment, but I don't think Ernie is going to hurt a child. Okay. I truly don't. I think Ernie was really trying to figure it out. Now, Ernie has got a little bit of BS with him. Okay. He has a little bit of BS with him. And I don't know if Ernie does that just for, because he believes the internet believes everything. And, I don't know. I don't know why Ernie says some of the things he says, like, the super soldier stuff. And I don't know why he does all that. But when he's dedicated and owns something, I thought Ernie did a really good job trying to figure out the stuff with Candace. Now, we know that Don Wells was at that property the day Summer Wells went missing. Anybody not know that? Anybody think that's a lie? Anybody? Allegedly. Anybody? LARP with Ernie Shell. Ernie Shell will tell you all a bunch of crazy stuff. And if you believe it, you believe it, right? But he wasn't lying about the Summer Wells case. Right here, Callie. $27.99. Isabel. Thank you so much for the super chat. That is nice of you. Dolly got to eat. You driving the train tonight. You on the Blessed Express. You ain't blessed unless you on the Dolly Express. All right. And Isabel, she's driving the train. Hopefully she ain't like Don Wells high on cocaine. Okay, right? Hopefully not. Hopefully you're driving the train sober. Okay, sober tonight. We don't want to ride off the rails and all of us die on the Dolly train, right? But I believe all these people are connected. All these people know what was going on in that holler. And I do believe at some point, it's hard to think this because it makes you feel nauseous at your stomach that they could be, I hate to say it, pimping out a child. Because if you think about it, it's not too far of a stretch. Because, the allegations against Don Wells for showering with Summer. Okay. Now tell me how disgusting that is. A grown ass man, old man, and a 6-year-old child in a shower together. Now I know what you're thinking. Well, there's plenty of room in a shower for 2 people, Dolly, right? But not in a one-man shower. There's not. Okay? Because, Dolly's been in their house. It's not like it's a sprawling estate with 3 bedrooms, 5 baths, none of that, right? 6 bedrooms, 5 baths. Restored Faith. Thank you so much, Restored Faith. That is awesome of you. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the super chats. And if I hit my goal tonight, I am going to be doing a live stream on my Facebook right after this. Okay. And y'all want to tune in for that. Y'all will want to tune in for that for your people that support the channel. Okay. Can't say no more than that. It's a surprise live stream, but tune in on my Facebook. My mods post my Facebook link. If you ain't subbed up to Jimmy Jams TV on Facebook, I don't know if I can add you, but you can follow me and I will be live. It won't be live on YouTube, but I will be live on my Facebook right after this stream. Okay. And y'all want to be there for it. Y'all going to want to be there for it. So, I go into their house and I go, I got to use the bathroom. Really, Dolly, I just wanted to look around. I wanted to see what I could eye and spy, right? I spy with my one good eye. So I go into the bathroom and the bathroom is as little as a closet. Okay. I've seen closets bigger. Matter of fact, my closet's bigger than the whole bathroom. All right. The shower, because I had been hearing so much about, he showered with the kids. He said he showered with the boys. There's no way. The boys wouldn't have fit in the shower. This is I've seen RVs that have bigger showers. Okay. This is a one-man shower. Like if you turn around good, you could possibly get stuck. Now I don't make up stuff. I have no reason to lie. They, tell them to post a picture of their shower. This shower is tiny. It is tiny. And then, so I go in there and I'm looking at this shower and I'm thinking to myself, how the hell did you take a shower with your kid they would have been on top of each other, like right up on each other, really bad. Like this ain't something normal. Most listen, I have a daughter. I can't never one time I ever took a shower with my kid, especially at 6 years old. You know, giving my kid a bath. Yes, being in a bathtub with him naked. Oh, hell to the nah. Disgusting ass nah. Okay, hell nah. Like what is going on? So when you think about that, right? CB, thank you so much, CB. Thank you guys. So you think about that and you're thinking, well, okay. Then you start thinking about what Don Wells has said. They didn't bring her back. You know, she's in a hotel somewhere being pimped out.
As the father of a missing child, I agree with Dolly here. Wow, I can't believe it. I'm agreeing with almost this whole live. Dawn has said some crazy shit when it comes to his missing child. Maybe they're beating her over the head with a hammer. Maybe they got her locked up in a basement somewhere. Some guy's got her doing this. Like, I get it. Those are the things running through your mind. I'll see you in the resurrection. Church ties to a church he never had ties to, just in 2020, a year prior, while they were hanging out with Allison. Allison was living with them. These people didn't go to church then. Why is Robin fucking lying? That's what I would like to know. They were not in church for 6 months. Dawn was in Utah. Candace was at home with shotguns, threatening Alice and kidnapping her children. Church is a ploy, and why? I don't believe they're religious at all. I believe it's a front. You know, Robin, that KKK shit is really fucking interesting when you're toting them around into the Lamplight Theater. The ones at the same rallies with Phelan or whatever, Fanning, couple names. Right? The ones out there not supporting Black Lives Matter, but you're for the kids in the church and God. Where's the black kids? Tired of all your shit. I don't believe for 1 second Dawn and Candace are fucking religious by any fucking bone in their body.
You know, you've heard him say that stuff like multiple times. He said things like almost insinuating that a drug dealer has Summer Wells. He's also said things like, well, he knows where kids are being sold. Now, listen, I'm from the hood. All right. I couldn't tell you where kids are being sold. Can anybody in here tell you where they sell children at? Anybody? Just press one in the chat if you know where they sell kids other than the social services. Okay. I know adoptions, you know, some people say, well, adoption agencies sell kids, Dolly. I get what you're saying.
That's why the bar just got shut down in Glassport, in my opinion, that I've been screaming about for how many months now. Hey, Sig. You're lucky I remember my childhood pretty fucking good. Wonder if they arrested you as they put the condemned sign on your fucking door, you cunt. Tell Lisa I said hi. Hey, Janine too. Tell that bitch to tell her sister she better be taking care of my nieces and nephew. That whole town's about to fucking explode, bitches. Hey, Cregan, thanks for snitching. You gave me the go ahead. I'm coming right for you, and I said it fucking publicly, you bitch. Oh, and it's on my Facebook. Anybody's welcome to go read it. Right under my eggplant penis head music video that he struck me on over here, and I had to take down. Connections. Y'all cute. I'm glad your bar is gone, bitch.
There's fees involved. I get it. That is kind of like selling a kid. But I'm talking about on the street where you can just go buy just random. Here you go. Here's a kid for sale. 3 easy payments of $19.95. I have never seen nothing like that in my life. For the longest time, I didn't even believe stuff like that happened. Okay. I was like, I don't sell kids. I ain't never seen a sign that says buy a kid here. But, I was naive. I honestly was. You start watching Sound of Freedom and stuff like that about, some of these busts that have been made on these sex trafficking rings, and they absolutely do sell children. And usually it's not selling them to keep, it's selling them for services. Somebody takes possession and then they basically abuse these kids themselves, and then they allow others to abuse these kids. So if you're abusing your child, how far off is it to allow other people to abuse that child? Is it a far stretch? Okay. And we know these people were connected in the beginning. We know all of them are hiding something. All of them stories are different, right? Maybe the reason the police didn't come out and tell us anything about Van Hill Road is they're rattling the cages. They're trying to get these people to talk. And you notice once that cage was rattled a little bit, people started to talk a little bit. Okay. We seen Fred Hill up there on the psychic channel acting like he's crying. Was you crying when you was a drug dealer in the holler? Was you crying then? Okay, I'm crying right now. We only got 635 likes on this video. That's enough right now to bring a tear to my little dry eye. Okay, my little dry eye. But, like I said, after this tip came in, Ziggy instantly, they tried to distance themselves from Van Hill Road. Okay. Now, like I said, as a true crime creator, I've met a lot of people all over the country. Did I climb in bed with any suspects and then start defending them? All right. And then coming out saying, my husband is cleared. And then people call the police station and they say, hey, nobody's cleared. This is an open and active investigation. But yet you're pushing this narrative. And then as soon as that goes on, you call the police and give them a tip after this. If you had a tip this whole time, Ziggy, why didn't you call that tip in? Okay. That's like me knowing something and then me not telling the authorities. I can tell you now, whatever I know, the authorities will know. I got nothing to hide from the authorities. I ain't waiting to call a tip in. If I got some information, it's going immediately to the police. It's going immediately to the TBI. So you can believe what Dolly knows, the TBI knows. I know the number, 1-800-TBI fine. They answer the phone 24/7. Get right back to you, not like that. Okay? So you can believe whatever I know, they know. And I just find it odd that all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you got this tip that the TBI needs to know. And you're trying to distance yourself away from Fred Hill's family. Why is that? And, The Hills have eyes. And now we've connected the Hills to everybody, even to Allie. Allie's best friend was one of the Hills. Okay. She passed away. I found where Allie signed her memorial book. Okay. Before she died, and she was out there. Matter of fact, one of the ladies was there when Chris McDonough was there, was a Hill. So you got Allie connected to the Hills. You got Don and Candace Wells connected to the Hills. You got the police searching the Hills. You got Ziggy with a Hill. There's a lot of damn Hills in those Hills. Okay. To me, that is very, very suspicious. All right. Very, very suspicious of what's going on. Now, what connection do they have? Does Don and Candace have to that property? That's what I've been trying to find out. If you want to know what Dolly's been doing his homework on, I've been trying to find out how Don and Candace are connected to that property. So far, other than Don Wells getting pulled over on Van Hill Road and getting a DUI, I found no connection to Paul Hill. Okay. But I don't think that's the case. I think Paul Hill might own the property, but other people frequent and use the property. And those people are the Hills. Okay. The plot thickens. Okay. The plot thickens. Talk to Hills, IMOP. Hello, Dolly. Hello, PJ. 100% I agree. Dolly knows what's up. Listen, I've been studying this case for the last 4.5 years closely. Everything that's said, everything that's done, everybody, every whisper. Even if I hate your channel, I still listen to what you say. Right? Because you may have one piece of the puzzle that I'm missing. And I honestly, I look at true crime like it's a jigsaw puzzle. I truly do. Each little piece of information we get, we put it in a pile until we got a picture. Jamie says, Dolly knows what's up, 100. Jamie, PJ just packed your mystery box. She was out there packing it. She's working on shipping stuff out right now. So guys, if you have an order out with us, PJ, we just got the office back up and running because we are in the process of moving from the dining room where we used to have our office to the new studio. So I got PJ's office set up in there with the computer, the packing stuff, the shipping stuff. And so she's out there as we speak, packing and shipping your guys' stuff. So if you got to order in, be patient with us. We're in the process now of trying to get all those orders out. So be looking for it in the next, over the next week, we should have most of the stuff out to you guys. There's a couple t-shirts that we have to order to print. Matter of fact, I'm going to be printing some t-shirts tonight when I get done here after I do my stream on Facebook. Okay. And y'all are going to want to tune in for that. Okay. Y'all are going to want to tune in to the Facebook stream. All right. And once you tune in the first time, you'll understand why you are on it, Dolly. Dolly and PJ, keep up the good work because you are who I watch for updates. Soulshine. Well, thank you, Soulshine. That is awesome of you. And this one from Soulshine says, oh, I read that one. Okay. So, like I said, the plot thickens. I think, they know who took this little girl. I've thought that for a good while now. I used to think that it was a tragic accident that happened in Summer Wells, just dry drowning, right? Which is possible because, they say Summer went under the water and Hunter pulled her out. But listen, everything we know about the Summer Wells case, 739 likes. Okay, guys, do me a favor. Do me a quick favor. I need you guys to take a second and like the video, okay? Even if you hate my face, like the video. And then once you do, I want you to shout out in the chat room where you're watching from. All right. I don't know if they were related to the Hills. The Hills apparently got a pretty big family. And that run through them hollers. Okay. They've been there, their family's been there for quite some time. So we do know that Fred Hill and Don Wells were buddies at one time. And I don't know if this is a situation where something happened and they handed Summer Wells off, but we do know that Candace left that hill twice that day. Okay. And why would you leave? I can understand you leaving the one time to ride around, look for your kid, but why did she leave multiple times that day? And is the scream real that Jody Sue Brown reported? Now, the police said the scream, they didn't really believe the scream. And you listen to Jody Sue Brown, because I listen to stuff close. She originally didn't hear the scream. She didn't hear the scream, right? She acts like she heard a scream, but Jody Sue Brown never heard a scream. Does anybody know who heard the scream? Does anybody know? Anybody keep up with the story that good? Who heard the scream? Her daughter allegedly heard a scream, right? Because Jody Sue Brown says, "Oh, well, she got younger ears. She could hear that. She could hear." But Jody Sue Brown herself never heard a scream. Jody Sue Brown reported hearsay. Okay. Her daughter said, "Mom, I heard a scream." And then Jody Sue Brown got out a noise on the news and said, "I heard a scream." No, you didn't. Your daughter heard what she thought was a scream. Okay. You didn't hear shit, woman. You didn't hear nothing. All right. So you basically rule that scream out. So, because I was thinking, well, if you went to the car and you found your child not breathing in the car, you may scream, right? And I originally thought that's what the scream was, because I thought Summer Wells may have passed away from a heat stroke. I truly did. For a couple years, I believe this little girl was in that hot car too long and she overheated, and they thought she was asleep in the car on the milk. And they started taking the groceries in and realized that Summer Wells had passed away. She had overheated. Now, a child at the age of 6 years old, their body can't take the temperatures as a teenager or an adult. Believe it or not, when you're little, people's body don't regulate heat the same way. You're more likely to have.
That's a downright lie. You see how me and my husband are talking about weather right now? Oh my God. I remember when my babies were little, and I would ask the doctors, how do I dress the babies according to the weather? Should I overheat them? Should I put more on them than they need because they're so little? And the doctors would tell me, no, you dress them just how you feel. They feel how you feel. How many other mothers have done that? I know I'm not the only one. I used to be really concerned about taking my kids swimming. I always took them as newborns because the doctors told me it was okay to, because their body temperature is the same as ours. They have the same blood as us. Dolly, you ain't never been a mom. You're wrong on that one. I've been agreeing with you most of the night, but you're wrong. They're not lizards. They're humans, just like you and I.
Hypothermia or heat stroke when you're younger, because your body does not regulate the heat right. Okay. Look it up, Google it. I don't care what you do. You'll be like, well, damn, Dolly, I didn't even know that. Okay. So say I could sit in a 120-degree car. That's enough to kill a child. Okay. And that day was it wasn't even 90 degrees. Okay. But
not just a child, but an adult. How many people OD in their cars and then die because of heat exhaustion from the windows being up? Animals, That's why you hear so many news stories about people busting out windows and saving animals and children, or somebody who might be sleeping in a car. That doesn't just imply to babies. That imply actually Earl and I have a friend who passed away in a car, but it wasn't because of heat. It was because he kept his car running while he was in a closed garage. I'm not even going to talk about it. I think it was stupid. It don't match. Yes. Dolly, you're wrong about this human anatomy shit.
89-degree car. Temperatures can reach easily 125 degrees on a summer day.
I do agree with you on this. You don't leave your babies in the car. They're helpless. They can't get out. However, it doesn't just imply to babies. It implies to humans, period, and animals.
So I was thinking, okay, well, maybe Summer Wells fell victim to the heat. Okay. They fell victim to the heat. And Candace went to the car, realized that she wasn't there anymore, and she screamed, and Jody Sue heard the scream, right? Logical thinking, because usually in a case like this, whatever's going on is going to make sense, right? It's usually use common sense of what could have happened, and usually that'll give you your answer in most of these cases, all right? And I truly did believe that. I was like, well, this is an accident, and these people were under the influence, drinking and doing prescription medications, and they were scared, and they covered up the disappearance of Summer Wells. Now, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. You know, it's more cases that we look at where social services are involved, and the child just magically vanishes. Okay, Jack and Lily Sullivan, Nova Scotia. Sebastian Rogers, Tennessee. Harmony Montgomery, New Hampshire. Okay. Same thing. Soon as the social services got involved, them kids were gone. Okay. Never, all three of those kids, never to be seen again. Okay. So it's as soon as I hear something about the social services were involved and then these kids just vanish, is it a case where, and a lot of people said this, and I didn't believe it in the beginning, that Summer Wells was at an age she could have talked, and they didn't want Summer Wells talking. And, you know, they knew that these people were going to come back and they were going to start trying to ask Summer questions. And it was time for Summer Wells to leave. I mean, that's a possibility, right? We just throwing out theories out there into the ether that's a real big theory that, you know, this could possibly something like this could have happened. Or like I said, there may be some truth, a little bit of truth in what everybody's saying. All these people were selling drugs in the holler. They were drugging kids and abusing kids on that hill. And possibly, and then bad as it sounds, is pimping this kid out, and one of the people didn't bring her back. All right, but they didn't want to mention that people because those people were connected to this bad drug ring that had been hurting people. So is that the situation that's at hand? All right, but if you start to see people get rattled or get upset or act out of character when somebody says something, it makes you question, why are you mad, Ziggy? Why did I say something that hit too close to home, that these people are connected? Fred Hill is connected to Paul Hill more than y'all saying he is. That he did frequent Van Hill roads, Fred Hill did all the time. That he was taking part in a drug ring that was going on in the holler. Let me ask you this. If he was out there distributing, where was he getting it from? Ask yourself that question. To be out there selling things in the holler, where was he acquiring it at? Do you think the boys will talk? I don't think the boys know. I don't know if the boys will ever talk. I mean, the oldest one is Josie. And, he's up for adoption. The other two boys have been adopted. But I would love it. I know you guys would too, to hear from the boys. I know we can't. This is just a hypothetical, I wish we could talk to the boys. Maybe one day when Josie turns 18, we will be able to. We could reach right out to him. We're like, hey man, do you want to talk? Most likely he's not. These kids have went through a lot of trauma. And really, honestly, do you want to bring that trauma back to a young person's life? But he ain't too far from being 18 years old. Now, if he chooses to talk, you can believe the first person going to listen to him is me. Okay? Because I would love to hear what these kids have to say. And believe it or not, they're probably a lot smarter than you think they are. And thank God they got up at the house. Because, Don was already smoking illegal things with them. Okay? Andy sold drugs to sedate and touch. Now, I don't know if that's true, right? I'm going to tell people, this is just all speculation. We don't have any proof of this, but we're just discussing what people have said, okay? Why a woman would say that, but then again, it may not be true because it could be a case of Jody Sue Brown mad at Andy, and she's just lying, and because she don't like him because he may have left her or whatever it may be, she could be mad. So sometimes it's, women get mad, and sometimes people say things when they're mad, they're not truthful. Okay. But if you take all the anger out of it, and then people are saying things that are like, whoa, why would they say that? Right. And for all we know, Jody Sue Brown might have been selling them stuff because she seems sedated. Tell me I'm wrong. And a lot of you guys are saying since Ziggy got up with Fred, she seems like she's on something, right? All up in the middle of the night doing nails and shit. I don't know. No folks are scared of Jody Sue and Andy 100. I don't think it's that they're scared of. I think there's other people out there, and I think some of these people are incarcerated right now. Okay, some of these people that know what happened to Summer Wells are sitting in prison right now on unrelated charges. Not that they're gone forever, but they got a few years in some of these people that got busted in these drug rings that were frequently the holler that we know that Candace's friend was directly connected to, and she was staying with Candace, Marlena. So you think about that, Marlena's brother, we seen him, he was all kind of methed up, right? So these people are still actually involved in the drugs actively. Now, you can take Fred out to holler, Ziggy, but you can't take the holler out of Fred. That's a fact. All right, this right here says, happy to join the Blessed Express. Let's all hit that like button. Yeah, once you hit the like button, shout out where you're watching from. Who is Andrew Hill? Andrew Hill? When I was talking about Andrew, I was talking about Andrew Hiltz, not Andrew Hill. Andrew Hiltz is the father of Hunter, the little boy that was allegedly sleeping with Candace that day, right? And see, I think Hunter is full of ish. Okay, I believe Allie, rest in peace to Allie. I'm gonna say that before I say something bad about her. That woman is full of shit. All of them are, right? And even Candace came over there and was asking Hunter questions, but she don't know what she asked him because he was in the bathroom. She was in the bathroom, right? I don't buy that. If somebody was there questioning your kid, you would flush the commode and you would get up there and you would find out what they're trying to talk to your kid about. And another thing is, why as soon as this was done, the first person Candace calls is Hunter. Helena says, just because turtle shell. Thank you, Helena. Thank you, guys. To me, there is a reason for that. Okay. I believe, and a lot of people say, Dolly, that can't be true, that Hunter knows, right? And people be like, well, no, a young person would tell it. They couldn't keep a secret, right? But it ain't just Hunter that knew. Allie knows, Candace knows, Don Wells knows, the people that took Summer and the people that may have been involved in whatever was going on that hill, they know. But if you go talking, they're gonna put everybody in prison. That's how it works. That's the same reason that Malaya and Daniel, they don't tell on each other in the Jack and Lily Sullivan case. Because if one person talks, you're both going to prison. You may not go to prison as long if you talk, but you definitely going to prison. You know, so I just find all the things that were said strange. There's a weird man on the hill, right? With the boys. But the boys are allegedly supposed to be at work with Don Wells. Who is that man? Okay. And Don is supposed to be at the hill and calls Candace and tells her there's some weird dude at the hill. Is that to call them, to tell them, hey, get back, because we're about to loan this kid to the person? Is the Candace sent? Right? Screenshot. I believe, and a lot of people say, Dolly, that can't be true, that Hunter knows, right? And people be like, well, no, a young person would tell it. They couldn't keep a secret, right? But it ain't just Hunter that knew. Allie knows, Candace knows, Don Wells knows, the people that took Summer and the people that may have been involved in whatever was going on that hill, they know. But if you go talking, they're gonna put everybody in prison. That's how it works. That's the same reason that Malaya and Daniel, they don't tell on each other in the Jack and Lily Sullivan case. Because if one person talks, you're both going to prison. You may not go to prison as long if you talk, but you definitely going to prison. You know, so I just find all the things that were said strange. There's a weird man on the hill, right? With the boys. But the boys are allegedly supposed to be at work with Don Wells. Who is that man? Okay. And Don is supposed to be at the hill and calls Candace and tells her there's some weird dude at the hill. Is that to call them, to tell them, hey, get back, because we're about to loan this kid to the person on the hill? Who's the person that was with Don? Because Don was at the house. We went over text messages that Candace sent, right? Screenshots from Candace's text messages saying she was lying about Don being home. So if Don was home, and let's say Hunter's not lying, there's some strange man at the hill, but yet Candace got to get back with Summer. Why all of a sudden Don's gone, the man on the hill's gone, and the boys wasn't at work with Don? So their story has changed so many different times that something's not right. And I talk about this all the time. When there's one red flag in a missing kid case, to me, that is one flat red flag too many. Okay? That's one red flag too many. And you know what don't change? And I say this a lot. Y'all probably heard it 1,000 times here. The truth. The truth never changes. When you start changing your story, somebody's lying. And there shouldn't be no lies told in a missing kid case whatsoever. And we've seen plenty of lies go down in this case, right? Plenty of them. Now, I'm going to take a second. I'm going to open the phone lines for you guys before we jump on to another story. But I want to hear from you guys. What do y'all think happened to Summer Wells? And what are these people hiding? Okay. What are they hiding? Now, with that said, let me pull up the my producer's calling. Hold on. Hello.
Must be PJ. She's cute. I like her.
Okay. Well, I'm live. All right, bye.
Truth, I'm happy Dolly and PJ got together and Betty's out of the picture. For me, it seems to have made Dolly a better person. I don't see him doing the crazy shit he was doing while he was loafing with Betty over there down in Summer's case. I think he's grown. Hopefully that little stint to Jill in Georgia taught him a lesson. I'm not a Dolly fan, but I'm not a Dolly hater either. Here's what I don't like about Dolly. Dolly, I would really like to talk about this behavior. Hold on. Like, I'm giving you an opportunity, and I feel like you sound logical today. However, I gotta be honest with you when I say to you, I would love to know what the hell is going on here.
I don't know about this. Who's that? That guy don't even know who I am.
Hold on. I would love to know where you stand today on the way you behaved in Georgia. I personally hate the things you said about Danny Youngkin. And you never apologized. What you did, Jody's right when it comes to Fry Guy.
What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Dolly back up in the house again tonight. Okay, so look, I'm gonna give you guys a few minutes to jump into the room because I wasn't supposed to start for about 20 minutes, but I figured what. So, like I said, I'll give you all a few minutes to jump in, give you a little time of like the video.
I feel like we should go over the Quentin Simon shit another night. Just as a refresher and a reminder and a way to remember Quentin. That was a 2-hour live. I don't know what it was about, but they made a mockery.
What happened, Betty? We thought
They came out here throwing money earlier.
Oh yeah, they were throwing money, blood-stained money earlier today. Isn't that some sick stuff? These people, man, they are just sick and twisted.
I'm keeping it though. Souvenir.
Yeah. So, and then Stacy.
Why are you so worried about Queen? You should be back over there. Yeah, people, I don't really care. I don't engage in stupid people. You know, that I understand they have to watch every single word that comes out of my mouth because I'm their content. But I create content. I don't have to steal other people's, so I don't pay attention to them. I don't care what they say. I don't watch their mouth. I don't watch their junk on their channel. I don't give them 1 ounce of ad revenue from me because I don't care. Many people know how I stand when it comes to other people, especially people that have no following. It's not a concern. Even with people that do have, I don't care. I don't care. I'm not on their page watching them. Why? Because I don't have time. I'm out working and creating content that they steal to pay their bills with. You know, that's how it goes. They're not content creators. They're content stealers. And then they want to talk about it. They don't get platforms. You know, this is as much as I'm going to give them right now, right here. I don't care. If you don't like what's being said, leave. You don't have to watch. I don't watch your shit. Why are you watching mine? You know? Seriously. I'm sure if I did, I'd have a lot to say, and I'm pretty sure I'd have a hell of a lot more people tuning in than you do when I start talking about you. I can guarantee that, you know, because people are interested in what we have to say here. They're not interested in what you have to say. Just remember that. That's why you're also here too. Who knows? I might be in the cell next to Leilani if I didn't get the rest I needed yesterday. I'm just joking. They're making legal. I could care less. I mean, I'm not back home yet, but you know, every person that has violated the law and stuff like that, little by slow, you're noticing that they just go away. So, you know, people should just take note to that. And, you know, if they want to continue to go down that road, they continue to go down the road. You're not going to hear shit from my mouth. We handle our business. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to bring it to YouTube. They have to bring it to YouTube, right? Because they need the drama, they need the credit, they need the money, right? That's what it boils down to for them, money. Because I guarantee there was many of them that took Dolly Visions. Now, mind you, he was not monetizing his videos, right? Everybody's screaming, don't monetize the videos. But then these animals were ripping his video and monetizing them, right? And talking crap about him. And meanwhile, he's out here spending his money and a lot of the money that you guys have donated for us to be out here, and they're ripping it for free and making a profit off of it when he wasn't even monetized. So screw it. If you know, I don't want to hear the haters say about monetization, because all they do when we don't monetize is steal it and monetize so they can make the money. That's some junk right there. They won't lift a finger to help a kid. They won't print a flyer, a missing person flyer, but they don't mind ripping non-monetized events and monetizing them to pad their pockets. That's some sick stuff. And people are supporting that and actually are hook, line, and sinker thinking we're out here doing all this. I can guarantee you I have not made one dime off this case. Every single penny that I have made through donations and everything else has been spent. I can guarantee that. You know, meanwhile, they're going to be getting their paycheck next month and they're going to profit. Just remember that. Swamp Pirate, thank you for becoming the newest member of the Coffee Club. Dun, dun, dun. While we're sitting out here with these despicable people, and again, we have so much support for this initiative. Again, we're not being crazy out here, right? Not yet. Not yet.
All right. That is the call-in number. PJ said she's bringing me something to drink. Thank God. That is the call-in number on the screen. I'm going to open up the phone lines. Let me share this real fast so we can hear your phone calls as they come in. Okay. Call-in numbers on the screen. Hey, the soap, etc. Dolly.
Hey, Dolly.
Hey, Rose, you got to turn me down in the background.
I did already.
Okay, how's it going?
Pretty good. Dolly, do we really know where Don was that day? I mean, are there any police facts about it?
Facts, no. He said he got home in 20 minutes, and it's like an hour and some change drive from Johnson City. So there's no way he did that. And he allegedly did it at rush hour.
But do we know he even was at work? Because that was the beginning story. He was at work.
According to text messages from Candace, he wasn't. According to Hunter, he wasn't.
Okay.
So,
well,
if he wasn't at work, why lie about something so simple? If he was home, why didn't you just say, well, I was home? Why lie?
Exactly. I wanted to say also, birds of a feather flock together, and that's where you get hollers and valleys and little communities built up.
Yeah.
And everybody knows what the code word, the street word, you don't tell, you don't snitch, you don't lie. We flock together, and I choose to live here because I want to live the way you do. Like, you know what I mean? That's why you sometimes choose a community, and so we've established kind of have a lot of same things in common with rugs and different things, right? The other thing I want to be clear on is the TBI and FBI really still actively involved in this case?
This is almost over. He's taking calls. You get the point. I think Dolly sounded logical in this live for the first time ever. Ever. I think it was worth listening to. I think PJ. I think she's maturing Dolly. Dolly, I hope you keep like this. Quit going to people's houses. I know you said you want to go search and this, that, and the other, and people don't know when you're there. Keep it that way. Don't bring it to YouTube at all. Do it without exploiting it. Let's see if we can hold you to that. So, yeah. The money train, right, Pam? I do think there's a reason. I agree with Dolly. I do think there is a reason that the police went to the news and asked the news to report on it. Do I know what that reason is? No, I'm not a cop. I don't work for TBI. I'm not going to solve Summer's case, in my opinion. But I think there's a reason they did that, and it makes it fact. Something for us to cover and keep covering. Why is that? I agree they wanted to stir the pot. If they didn't find something, then they know something. And I do think I agree with Dolly when I say this is a ring. However, Dolly, I'm going to disagree a little bit and tell you I think it's a little more than people think it is. I think Summer going missing fucked up operations. Does it all have to do with Summer? I don't think so. And I think that's what caused the confusion. But anyways, guys, I've been on my 2-hour limit here. It's 7. I seen other people want to go live. I'm going to let you all go and go watch other people. I'm telling you, I have the attention span of ADHD. I don't have it. I need music and shit in my life. I can't sit here like Ziggy and Jody for 8 hours. Some days, if I'm really bored and have already had my music fill or whatever. But that's hard for me to do all the time. I need my jams. And I'm getting messages and got to call my husband. So I'm going to get off of here. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know for you people that'll be back to watch later what you think in the comment section of Dolly's change. and what you think of what Dolly's saying and Jody's response and Ziggy's odd, weird quietness, even though she's there once in a while. Oh, that's right. She got a website. Now they're laundering money, in my opinion, through a website where she's doing tarot card readings and we can't see it. I don't fucking know. Fuck you, Ziggy. I asked you to talk to me about that Epstein shit. I want to learn about it and talk about it. I want to talk about this guy that's out there. Y'all paying attention to the Epstein shit? Maybe I'll come back a little bit later and we can cover some Epstein. Anybody interested in that? Let me know. All right. Pesamore, peace and love. Talk to you all later. Bye.